head, and his body language, I think, is one of the big keys that holds this Kentucky team together.
There was interesting comments from Coach Pope today at shoot-around. I asked him, Jackson told us in the post-game interview, I didn't like my body language at the Duke game. And we asked Coach Pope, was that the coaching staff that told him that, or was that himself recognizing it? And Coach Pope said, no, that was all Jackson recognizing that he didn't like what he saw from his body language, as Jackson State will win the tip. Going from left to right on your screen, and we are underway. Cats in white, Jackson State in the dark blue jerseys with red accent. Otega-Oweh crashing on that lower block as you've seen him do, and he's gotten 3 or 4 steals in the last couple games from that very move, Cameron.
Now this is where you got Jackson State going to force a bad shot with the clock ticking down.
Got it off in time and hit. Well, they say he didn't hit the rim, so it's a shot clock violation. You love to see that if you're Coach Pope, to get a shot clock violation on the very first possession.
You definitely love seeing it, but that's part of the scouting report. They know Jackson State will work that clock and then sometimes inadvertently have to wind up taking bad shots. The focus for Kentucky is get the rebound. Bad shots will rebound long. Three-pointers will rebound long. Go get the offensive rebound or the defensive rebound.
The story coming into the year is Jackson Robinson, backdoor cut, can't finish, was that Kentucky might tinker with this starting lineup throughout the year, trying to find the right one. Well, here we are, game number 5, and it's the same starting lineup that Coach Pope has had all year, as Robinson spots up from 3. Good.
Well, you're 4-0. Why would you tinker?
Jackson picking up right where he left off from Tuesday night against Lipscomb, and this is a Jackson State team, as we chatted with Mo Williams at shoot-around today, a little bit depleted, and they answer with a quick 3 from Dorian McMillan, who they love and think he has a bright future, not just here at Jackson State, but beyond as well, as potentially a pro. Just a freshman. Otega-Oweh, little step back. He's got some space, a long 2, but it's blocked. Great play out there out front by Mitchell. Mitchell going right at Carr, unable to finish through contact. The miss, though, gathered by Grant. Good start for Jackson State here in the opening 2 minutes or so. Down low to Shannon Grant, listed at 6'11", 290, and he fights through, can't finish, but gets the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2. There you see Coach Mo Williams, a long NBA career, one of 19 NBA players, or rather coaches, I should say, in Division I with NBA experience. In his 3rd season with Jackson State, they have improved in his first 2. It's simply amazing what he's done. This is their 39th consecutive non-conference road game.
It's absolutely incredible. And then you look at the record so far this year, but you have to remember this Jackson State team lost 98% of their offensive output from last year. So a whole bunch of new guys having to get some production in it.
Chatting with Coach Williams today, he was speaking about how these games, and they've had a gauntlet of a schedule, they will play 3 top 10 AP teams in just a 2-week span. Houston, Kentucky, and Iowa State all on the road. He said, we're building for SWAC play, which begins in late December for Jackson State.
I always love it when coaches intentionally schedule hard schedules, because you start learning more about your team quicker.
Robinson from 3. He's 2 for 2.
You just get the sense during that Lipscomb game, he found his touch. He's not going to relinquish it. Those are 2 great three-point shots from the corners.
He had 20 against Lipscomb. He's got 6 already before the first media timeout tonight. Spinning into the lane is Mansell. In trouble, gets bailed out by Watson Jr. Has his pocket picked by Lamont Butler. Butler wants to get down that lane, fights into a double team. Out to Oweh, ball fake, gets to the elbow, pull-up jumper, bounces in.
Of all the players on this Kentucky team that we could, all-star, Oweh's the most consistent. He's the one that kind of everything, whether it actually runs through or not, he's the one that makes this Kentucky team go offensively and defensively.
What's pretty remarkable is Oweh has a steal, and there he goes, cleared for takeoff. And another steal from Amari Williams as he goes into his bench, but he can't complete it. And boy, that's some good hustle from the Cats. They're on 2 straight defensive possessions. There you see head coach Mark Pope in his first season at the helm of his alma mater. a national champion in 1996 and a former teammate of yours, Cameron.
Former teammate, played with him for 2 years. Still, he talks over my head. He's an absolute genius. At walkthrough today, he's going over concepts, telling me what they're going to do, what they're going to do here, and I'm like, can I get a glossary? I need a dictionary for all your basketball terms that I thought we knew together. Apparently, we don't.
Well, in his post-game radio show on Tuesday night, he said the word neuroscience as another trip to the free throw line by Shannon Grant, as he'll head back to the charity stripe with Jackson State trailing by 5.
I believe he used the word lexicon recently in an interview. And again, not an odd word, but not one you hear in a basketball press conference.
Neuroscience is in his lexicon, I guess you could say. So.
Look, this is the guy that after practice, back in the 90s under Pitino, we would all want to crash watch a movie after a hard practice, everybody piling in each other's room. We'd find Mark in his room by himself reading Dante's Inferno for the 3rd time that week. I mean, that's the kind of guy we're dealing with here. Quits Columbia Medical School after 3 years, going into his last year, decides I can make a bigger difference coaching, so steps down, starts at Georgia as assistant coach, and has worked his way to Kentucky.
Well, the challenge that Coach Pope was most excited about tonight was he thinks this Jackson State team is a very good rebounding team, and he thinks that Kentucky has a way to go where he wants them to be as far as rebounding goes. So he was interested to see what that looks like tonight in this matchup. As Butler able to keep the ball, goes to the rack and finishes.
We saw that barrage a few minutes ago, Andrew, of 3 turnovers, or almost 3 turnovers, 2.5, let's say, as Amari got that deflection. But 3 in a row, deflections leading to turnovers leading to easy baskets. That's how Kentucky gets some easy threes and just easy points in general.
McMillan running the point. Got a switch, and now he's got the 7-footer Amari Williams on him. They switch back. Step back long, too, from Mansell, and he hits it on a fader. Cats want to restart the offense quickly, and that's a theme of this Mark Pope offense. Butler will spot up from the 3. Good.
Perfect. I mean, just right down the pipe of Lamont Butler's 3 that time. Comes around the high screen. Man goes under, defender goes under. Oh, I'm open, I'm shooting.
Yeah, I think he wanted to drive, but then when he saw he was wide open, said, thank you very much.
It's just a dangerous thing to go under any screen with this Kentucky team.
Off the glass and in, but he traveled before he got there to Shannon Grant. Will bring us to a timeout on the floor. 15-20 left. The Cats up by 8 and cruising here early.
Number 12 Duke, number 1 Kansas, Tuesday on ESPN.
Off to a hot start. They're up 15-7 on Jackson State, a team that has a lot of newcomers on this squad, about half the roster, but the scoring production they're having to replace is over 90%. Despite all that, Mo Williams has built a roster that's picked in the top half of the SWAC, could very well win the conference and go to the NCAA tournament. They're still waiting the return of Deshaun Ruffin, the first McDonald's All-American to play at Jackson State. He started at Ole Miss, but it's been a nice season so far, Cameron, for Jamie Mitchell Jr. Had a career-high 26 against Xavier, and he dropped 15 at Vandy.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a great job. All these post-up shots. And this is what makes a team like Jackson State dangerous. You get one hot player that comes in, starts hit from outside. Just like we do to teams, we hit those threes. They got to stretch that defense. A shooter like this and a player like this can do the same thing to us.
Mitchell, the Jackson, Mississippi native, averaging 17 points a game. And really that number kind of lowered just because of one off night. Other than that, he's been phenomenal. We mentioned 26 against Xavier on November the 12th, and that's a good Sean Miller defense there in Cincinnati. It's Kobe Brea into the game for the first time, and also Brandon Garrison has checked in for Kentucky. They lead by 8.
Kobe Brea shooting 79% from the three-point line this season.
Yeah, that is not a misprint.
Yeah, it's just absurd.
It's crazy. Andrew Carr down low. Carr in trouble. Out to Butler. 10 to shoot. Plenty of time for the Cats. Carr looking to get it to Brea. Now Robinson. He tries to go 3 for 3, and he does.
So just again, upperclassman move by Carr. He had Brea coming up. Why wouldn't you pass it to Brea? Well, you got Jackson Robinson sweeping right along, and he's 2 for 2. Let's give him a chance to go 3 for 3.
He's 3 for 3, Cameron, and you weren't exactly a shy shooter at times. At what point do you just see if you got it tonight and do a little heat check?
If you're Jackson Robinson, maybe around 6 or 7. If you're me, after you've hit 2.
McMillan out. Kentucky, a little bit of a trap there at the wing, and oh my goodness, what a finish there.
And those are the kind of shots that can beat Kentucky, right? And we know they're going to...
There's an offensive foul on Butler as he extended the left arm.
So we know these kind of shots are what can beat Kentucky. But I love this right here. Could have passed it to Brea, but wait a minute. Let's find the hot hand, says Andrew Carr, and gets his teammate another open 3.
Well, you can see why, too, that Mo Williams is so high on McMillan. Just a freshman. And he has been composed in these big stage games like this one inside Rupp Arena.
Absolutely. Not only that, but a little bit of trivia I was told before the game. But Dorian McMillan, a relative of Dale Brown,
yes,
who once played here at Kentucky. Not the LSU Dale Brown, but the Kentucky Dale Brown.
Oh, what an alley-oop. Finished off on the other end by Mansell, his second bucket. Jackson State cuts it to 7. We had a look at that in shoot-around. They wanted to make that a point of emphasis today. As Kerr Kriisa into the game for the first time, as well as Ansley Almanor. So the only starter out there right now is the hot-handed Jackson Robinson.
Jackson State doing a great job of not giving us any open looks, any
Robinson
stretch.
looking for 4, a little bit long, no good.
And look, that's the shot that if you're Coach Pope, maybe accept, you certainly do if it goes in, but wasn't really in the flow of offense. It was Jackson kind of like you mentioned earlier, feeling hot, so he was going to take it.
Shades of Tayshaun, he fell a couple short against North Carolina there some 23 years ago or so. Is great D by Kerr Kriisa down low, partial block that's completed by Garrison, denying Reyna. Kriisa using the screen and a little bit of a pile-up and headed the other way. Brea in the lane, contact with Cannaville. It's going to be a foul. Nice alley-oop finish on a great feed by who else but Dorian McMillan.
And I guarantee an issue that Coach Pope's going to mention in the next time out, because those backdoor screens, I mean, that's easy stuff. You just communicate, talk, and somebody better be there. Kobe Brea doing a great job of getting back on defense to not give Jackson State anything easy, and even doing what you're always told to. Foul him, right? Don't give him, I mean, go after the ball. The problem is he went after the ball, and I don't know if he fouled him.
Cannaville misses the first free throw.
And as they say, the ball doesn't lie.
Well, it has raised the stakes here as the second free throw on the way. Cannaville from Plantation, Florida, Southeast Louisiana transfer. Coach Pope called him their best offensive rebounder, despite only standing at 6 feet 5 inches tall. Makes 1 out of 2.
And again, just the importance of, it doesn't matter how big you are, it's a matter how much you want the ball as far as rebounding, one way or the other.
There we see Jackson State pick Kentucky up 3/4 court. Coach Pope said we have to be ready for them to throw a bunch of different defenses at us.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of looks we're going to see tonight. We got to be ready every single time and be able to and be patient to see what they're in and what we need to do about it.
Robinson cut off. Will kick it out to Almanor. 2 to shoot. Kentucky not going to get a shot off. Great D by Reyna, who is fighting on the floor right now, but it's won back by Garrison. Reyna didn't get any help as Almanor found open in the corner and knocks it down.
Not only was that Kerr Kriisa made, it was certainly Brandon Garrison and his hustle not giving up on that play, but it swings to Kriisa. Kriisa goes with the pop rule, which is you got 0.5 seconds to get that ball moving, and he found Almanor down deep in the lane, or deep in the corner.
Kriisa leads Kentucky at just shy of 5 assists per game despite not being a starter. Mansell, he's been shooting it well, has that one go a little bit long. Brea the rebound.
Those are the kind of threes I think Kentucky is willing to give up.
Brea down the lane, little floater is good. Timeout Jackson State as Kobe Brea, normally a sharpshooter, able to finish this one inside the paint. He pushes that Kentucky lead to double digits here inside Rupp Arena.